Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here today to hear my big announcement. To be honest, it always kind of bugs me when people say, I have a big announcement to make. Rick Beato does this a lot. Important news. When really, it's just not that big of a deal, really. We're making videos on YouTube. But my announcement is, and I'm really curious to get your feedback about this. We live in a strange time when the great majority of new jazz is only available on streaming or CD. I think primarily on CD and streaming if you know where to find it. While we have an incredible surplus of old jazz being pressed on vinyl. And you know who all the obvious candidates are, from Blue Note to Prestige. Really, there aren't that many Prestige records being pressed. It's a little strange. We're seeing a lot of Blue Note, Verve records, some Impulse records, but Prestige, am I wrong? Like, I have yet to see any Jackie McLean Prestige, Coltrane Prestige. No, Analog Productions has definitely done a lot of the Miles quintet on Prestige, but there is a huge back catalog of Prestige records, Riverside records, Jazzland records, not to mention Savoy, Roost, Bethlehem, that haven't been pressed to vinyl. I write about jazz as I have for a long, long time. There aren't as many places to write about jazz as there were in the past. I review records and write music features for Jazz Times. And caveat, I get lots of free records. I get free CDs. I don't get free records. I get tons of free jazz CDs all the time. I have stacks of them in there, and you really can't give them away, really. Fred Cohen at the Jazz Record Center doesn't really buy many. He gets new releases, of course, but he won't buy a lot of used jazz CDs because everybody buys vinyl now. But in saying that, it does a real disservice to all the living young jazz musicians who are making a lot of great music. So this weekend, I sat on the floor with a little boombox and went through a few hundred jazz CDs and found maybe 100 that have come out this year that are really great. And I want to talk about those in the next 2 or 3 videos. So even though I am Ken McAuliffe, the Jazz Vinyl Audiophile, the essence of what this is about is jazz. And getting Americans or whoever to understand the great music that has come out of this country and really is still being made. I mean, I kind of bitch and moan at times. A lot of contemporary jazz is sort of not as, easy to get into as old jazz, but nothing stays the same. Everything continues to move. And there is a lot of great jazz being made. And it's really sad because it's sort of unheard. I do 2 reviews a month for Jazz Times. I used to review pretty regularly for Downbeat. I hope to start doing that again. I used to review for New York City Jazz Record. A lot of people like that magazine a lot. But I'm not here to bitch about them, but to say I'm going to start reviewing jazz CDs on this channel because there's a wealth of titles that need to be reviewed just so people know they're out there. And I'm just going to name some of the artists in the first stack I'm going to review. Rachel Eckroth, Matthew Shipp, Whit Dickey, Pat Metheny, of course, John Aber, a wonderful bass player, William Parker, Kevin Sun, Mark Lewis Quartet, a vocalist like Irene Gelente, the great Lionel Loecki, obviously, a drummer I'd never heard of before, Khan Selane, Nazile. I don't know if these are Siberian jazz musicians, Tamer Timil, Tolga Bilgin, Erkumet Orkut, Volkan Topaglau, but this is a really great CD. Another singer, a new vocalist on ESP, Manque Ndosi. I hope to do an interview with the ESP publicist Steve Holtje in a week or 2. Henry Threadgill, of course. Tobias Meinhardt, the painter. Gary Husband and Marcus Reuter, Music of Our Times. Rafe Viterson Quartet. Greg Smith. Eugene Jong. There's a lot of great music coming out constantly on the Clean Feed label, a label I want to cover more often because they put out, it's a Lisbon-based label, creative improvisation, slightly free. They do a lot of great work. And this record is called Dois Maisons, for sale. Angels Over Okanda, Burnt Sugar. The pianist, Satoko Fuji, Marcus Reuter, and a CD I'm listening to right now that I fall in love with by Mark Carey. Mark Carey, this new CD, it's a trio, and I would venture to say that if you like the work of Vince Guaraldi, you'll love this CD. Some of it is funky, but a lot of it's just really beautiful and flowing. There's treated piano, synthesizers, solo piano. Anyway, that's my big announcement for the day. I will be reviewing jazz CDs here, and I'll probably do like 10 at a clip. I'm sitting here for the next few hours just listening and making notes to CDs as I review a new CD player from Cyrus. Anyway, thank you so much. Bye-bye.